Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the View recap for March 12th, 2024. So, this episode was jam packed. I really enjoyed it a lot. Whoopi Goldberg said that, she missed the morning Hot Topics meeting because she was with her great-granddaughter who invited her to her school for Special Persons Day. And she said that, Whoopi was her special person, and it just melted the audience's heart, mine included. There she is in a little circle there. But I think that that's amazing, right? Family and relationships is everything. And Whoopi said, one of the reasons that I'm in such a good mental shape is because of this little girl. And so I thought that was just a beautiful way to start the View. But yeah, all the ladies loved it. And that's absolutely worth missing the Hot Topics meeting for this morning. Joy Behar, she is, of course, you guys know that they rotate the women. She said that she wasn't here yesterday to talk about the Oscars with the rest of the ladies, but she said that she wanted to congratulate, Jimmy Kimmel, who made the joke right on the spot about Trump when he was tweeting about how horrible of a host Jimmy Kimmel was on Truth Social. Jimmy Kimmel came back with the retort, isn't it past your jail time, which got a lot of laughs. And so Joy said that, comedians rule, and she was really excited about that. So she tried to email Jimmy Kimmel to congratulate him, and she instead sent it to Jimmy Fallon. And so, which happens, right? So the ladies were talking about how, they had their technological mishaps, whether it was, text. Alyssa said that because of her name, starting with an A, that she receives a lot of butt dials, I'm sure. She said one time it was a FaceTime and she had just got the shower, her hair was all wet, but since it was an executive, she took it and then the exec just kind of hung up because it wasn't meant for her. And they were just talking about all their different mishaps with sending people the wrong email, which again, it happens, human nature. So a really important segment was they were talking about, what a second Trump term would look like. And I have to be honest, the former president, he praised Hungary's autocratic leader, Viktor Orban, and he's basically a dictator. And Trump himself has said that, he wanted to be a dictator on day one, right? Those are his words. And it's quite unfortunate because, a dictatorship is one that is rooted in just evil. I mean, I can't think of any other words to supplement that, from us going from a democracy to a dictatorship. I mean, that would just be such a horrible thing. I can't think of anything, I could think of many things that would be worse, but that would definitely not be good for the country and really the world. I mean, America is still a superpower. A lot of, nations take their cue from us. And so, the leader of the free world essentially being a dictator would be chaotic. It would just be chaos globally. And we don't want that. I know I don't. I can speak for myself. Some people actually have said, though, that they do. Some people support Trump and said that, they feel like this country does need a dictator, which is asinine, in my opinion. I feel like they don't really know what they're talking about since we've never been a dictatorship. I feel like a lot of people take democracy for granted because, it is just one of those things that is, it's very fragile. I mean, essentially, Mike Pence, he stood his ground and refused to, overturn democracy, right, during January 6th in 2021. And I'm grateful for his integrity. It is unfortunate that he is still supporting Trump through all of that. It just blows my mind. I mean, I understand politics, but the fact that so many people are willing to put party over country, it is just, again, it's mind blowing. I understand, tribal beliefs, and humans are tribal beings, and culture, um, all those different things, that people have. But at the end of the day, right? I really do believe that we are voting for one president who wants to continue this country as a democracy, and the other wants to turn it into a dictatorship. And he said that. And so I'm taking him seriously, and I'm taking him at his word. And I hope that you are as well. And the ladies, of course, spoke about it. Whoopi was really upset. She's like, we could throw you in jail, which, again, I didn't even think about the 91 felony indictments that are still pending for Donald Trump. And really, the presidency, like Sonny has said many times, it would be his get out of jail card. So, I mean, even Alyssa, who has worked in the Trump administration, she said that she knows how dangerous this man is. He is a threat to American democracy. She said that, he represents nothing that she believes in as a lifelong Republican. And she said that, she's hoping against hope that other Republicans like her will, see Donald Trump for who he is, essentially a wannabe dictator, and will not vote to put him back in office, because it would definitely be a dangerous move. And I agree with her. So moving on to something a little bit more lighthearted, we have Patton Oswalt was there, and he was talking about his new limited series, Manhunt. And it uncovers the story behind President Lincoln's assassination. And what he says is a lot of the themes in the series are still relevant today. And I feel like it's so true, right? Because, again, I was just talking about American democracy, but, they were talking about how this is for history buffs, and, James Wilkes Booth, that they thought that he had broke his leg or fractured it jumping off the stage, when in fact it was him jumping off of a horse. And that, he was essentially trying to assassinate not just Lincoln, but two other people. And that, of course, the Civil War, which was fought because of slavery. And they made the joke about Nikki Haley, and, Patton laughs. He's like, I hope that she's watching, which is funny. But he also, he says that the country has often been at the brink. A lot, we were worse off, right, than we are today. When it comes to, American democracy and human rights, civil rights. He's like, we've always been able to pull ourselves back, which is amazing. Again, that's always a great thing, right, with American democracy being as fragile and as important as it is. But yeah, they said that there's so many wonderful things about Manhunt. So if you guys are, big into history, definitely check that out. We also have Tamron Hall, who I love her show, but she was there promoting her book, Watch Where They Hide, and it's loosely based off of her life being a true crime reporter. She said that she worked for Dateline, and the series still airs to this day. She says she doesn't get paid for it. They need to, correct that, run her a check. But, she was early in her career as a Texas crime reporter. And she said that she got women's intuition. She said that there was a house fire and there was a man there, and she was, interviewing him, and she was holding the mic, and she said that she saw the word murder on his forehead, as clear as, she said, Joy's jacket that she saw. And she said she felt her body kind of recoil. But she did say later that day, he was arrested. She shouted out her cameraman, Chris, but she was like, he did it. And so she said another example story was that she was pregnant at the same time that the woman that his body was found, I think 8 years later, and she was pregnant. And so she said she knew right then that the person who took that woman's life tried to touch her. She's like, please don't touch me. And so she said that she had to essentially change careers for her own mental health and well-being, which is Absolutely, right? Like you have to take care of yourself. And I can't imagine being in that space, dealing with, that type of imagery, right? It's very disturbing. So I'm glad that she kind of switched gears and now she has her own show. But she wrote, this really great thriller. She was like, I want it to be, really juicy. And she's like, and it's fiction. So she incorporated friends and things like that. But the main character's name, Jordan Manning, is based on her and her, history, her career. So you guys, if you love mysteries, go ahead and check that out. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about today's view. I really enjoyed it. As always, I want to hear from you guys. Drop down in the comments. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I will talk with you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.